Public Works Committee meeting of Wednesday, April 23rd to order. Roll call, we have everybody here. I will make a motion to approve the agenda and the February 26, 25 minutes.
Second.
Got a first and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, none. Chairperson comments. Really the only thing I got is I was talking to a resident and he was talking about taxes and stuff like that, and the conversation came up where he was asking, like maybe we need to cut services or look at services or stuff like that. And so I asked Ben to kind of put a number together, because picking up sticks and trash minus labor is not the reason for what it costs for us to live here. So I explained that to him. And so there's another part of the update that Ben will go over. That's the reason why it's in the packet. So moving up to number 7, Department of Public Works report, Ben.
So we're in full spring mode here. The sucker truck is up and running. On Monday, we started that. And kind of dodging the rain here. So between the picking up brush and grass and things like that, we're in full blown right there. Crew's finishing up the parks. We got about another week or so in the parks. We're gonna go up to the cemetery and get that cleaned up. So I think the next 2 weeks we'll have our spring cleanup. I know we got some sod to pick up in the alleyways where the snow plow was wider than the alleyways, but we're get out there and get things cleaned up. We've got some shouldering, some grading work that we'll get done, and then we'll start our summer projects. Other than that, we're in good shape. We've maintenance wise, everything's maintenance up. We got the plows and everything off, and the truck's ready for summer work, so no issues there. I know last month we had two of the summer help from last year are both going to come back. And I think I sent you guys an email after the meeting that one of our summer helps got a job at the mill in Nakusa. So I mean, congratulations to him. It's never good to lose an employee, but he's going to a good spot in the mill and working towards his future. So I worked with a school and we couldn't come up with nobody there, and then we ended up getting an employee that was summer help 2 years ago, a kid that was still around the area, still going to school, and was able to pick him up to fill up that second summer help position. So we have 2 summer help positions filled. The one started Monday. The weather's good. I said, you can come in and help us out. We'll just kind of play week by week. The other one goes to college, which college, I guess the first week of May is going to be their final. So he'll be here in the next couple of weeks. So it's good to have them. Nowadays it seems like we start them early, because obviously by early August, they start going back to school and leaving early. So which is okay this time of year when we're raking and cleanup. It's good to have them. So we got a full staff right now on board for the summer. Just want to always commend the guys that are working the staff, doing the changeover myself in positions of guys that we stepped up and take a little more responsibility on, and they've done a great job. So it's water, sewer, public works, weekends, and parks. So they've done a great job. So we're ready to go for the summer. We'll go into the summer projects. I kind of gave you guys an outline last month. I think we've got all the bid numbers in. I'm still working on some timelines. Last month I didn't have which roads we're gonna chip seal. I was able to add those roads on, the chip seal ones. One of the big things we're kind of running right now, Ripple Creek culvert lining. If you guys remember working with Wood County to line that culvert that goes underneath Ripple Creek Park on Bunker. And then we're going to mill and pave from Brentwood Drive to Fish Street. When Wood County went to pull the permit with the DNR for lining that pipe, the DNR has some concerns on warm water, cold water, fish, and things that are leaving that pond going through that pipe going into the stream, creek, whatever you like to call it, that flows behind my house, Trustee Sailors, and back out to for Bunker. So tomorrow afternoon, myself, the DNR, Roland Hawk, and a few other gentlemen from Wood County, we're going to meet on site and see if we can't come up with a better plan. That could it's not going to change the milling of the paving of that project. It could change us being able to line that culvert pipe. It may be a decision that I'll make, and right or wrong, I'll have to live with it. If we can't find a way to line that pipe within budget numbers, which right now we can, and using some Wood County grant money, we might have to look at future blacktopping and then future coming back and replacing a complete rebuild and replacement. I mean, the problems, we talk about complete replacement, we've got water, sewer, utilities, we got a lot that run above that pipe and under that pipe, so it's gonna be quite a project if we have to replace those pipes. Hopefully tomorrow we can maybe resolve that situation, still be able to line them. I'll keep you guys updated with that. As of right now, everything is still a go, but we haven't got the permit from the DNR, so we'll learn more tomorrow what we can do. And, it's nothing we can do. That, pond structure was dug years ago. We don't have documentation of permits when it was dug, when it was. I did pull the permit out when, Administrator Terry was here and we rebuilt that. Well, we have all the permits at that time that were pulled and they were all legal, no issues, but times have changed, people have moved, and now we went to try to pull these and we're having some questions on when that original pond was dug and what the height of the basins are to the stream and other things, and cold water and warm water and fish and turtles and habitat. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. So all we can do is keep working through that. And the Wood County's assisting us and doing a great job. I mean, they got the professionals on staff, that I think that can help us through that if we can find a way to get through that. But otherwise, once we get that done, we'll get a timeline for the milling and paving of from Brentwood to Fish Street. It'll definitely be when school's out and get the residents, some aware of what's going on. And, the chip sealing is most likely gonna be June until July or whatever. It's normally like to do when it gets nice and warm. So when you get those, sticky rocks rolling on your tires, you can hear them, but that bed's the nicest on the roads when it's warm and we can really get a good seal on the roads. And so them projects are all within budget. No issues there. We talked about the tip project, Second Street, gonna be meeting with the contractor, next week and start laying that project out. Starting at Edwards, how we're gonna do that. You know, that was a 3-year project. How we're gonna lay that out, what we're gonna do, so we can probably have a meeting with the residents down at the shelter in May. Have the contractor there, myself, if there's any questions, so we can make sure we have all those questions answered. If it's garbage pickup, what we're gonna do, leaf pickup with the residents. So I'll have a better timeline, for that project next month.
Mr. President, if I may. Who's the contractor?
Precision grading,
Precision?
Yep.
Okay, good.
you got the bid on that last, September, we bidded that out.
Good. Thank you. I meant, Mr. Chairman.
Water utility, knock on wood, we had a rough winter, but we ended up with, one water main break, we got a blacktop up. We got a bunker, water tower valve project we're gonna be doing, first week in May. And we got a new hydrant we're gonna be installing on Pleasant View and Port Road. The water utility also, we're gonna be doing our, spring flushing here the first week in May, so we'll get that out on social media. So people ask you, the first week in May is our, spring flushing. Our wastewater just went through its annual report and, everything went good there and we're licensed back up for another 5 years. So, Jason and, Ken both worked hard on getting some paperwork and some things that maybe we've been lacking on that department, back up to the quality that the DNR is asking for. So, those are kind of the summer, projects. Like I said, I hope next month I'll have some timelines for you guys, but, as we see here now, everything's within budget. I don't see any issues. It's not right for this committee. Obviously, last, in the parks, we talked about the bike trail, which, the public works crew will definitely be doing, assisting as much work as they can out there to help that project, move on and keep within budget.
Mr. Chairman, if I may. Let's say we get this, permit from the DNR and they're not worried about us killing a carp or something that comes out of, the pond. Would that move the, Brentwood to Fifth Street for bunker project up? At all, or is that pretty well gonna stay where it is?
Timeline? It's gonna stay where it is, just because I believe, according to Randy at Wood County, they're gonna start paving in, middle of, June. They do chip sealing and stuff, so according to Wood County schedule, no matter what, it's gonna be June. And I recommend we're not doing anything until school's out. I don't want traffic run while there's buses that run, so it won't start anything until June at the earliest.
But it would be, the year would be set already though?
We're doing it this year no matter what. We're paving and milling no matter what this year. The only thing will be is if we can't fix the culvert, we're gonna mill it and pave it, and we'll have to discuss that at future time. We've got the money, that road needs to be fixed this year.
My wife complained about that. I told her to slow down and she bit me, so.
Yeah. No,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So I got a question with that too. So you got 100,000 earmarked out of the 400 account for the lining and the riprap.
Yep.
If it doesn't happen, are you going to find another line item?
We're gonna pave, 3 alleyways that are in desperate need of paving, so, yeah, I'd come to back next month. I mean, there's definitely, stuff in the works. Obviously, that changes a little bit because we've got the 50/50 grant funding for that project, so there's a little bit of a, the 100 isn't quite. We'll have to rework those numbers with Wood County, but definitely we would, spend that money towards, repaving a couple alleyways for sure.
And those paving that's on your tenure?
I don't have those alleyways on the paving, that's every year we always, come June, if we got extra money, kind of we talk about the chip seal, if we have extra money, we, I've got a list of alleyways, we grab them and the guys go out there and tear them up and we get a local contractor to pay them for 10 grand and we buzz through that, so.
Okay.
But like I said, I'm hoping to have a better, and we'll know where this lining's gonna be, and if I gotta rework this, I'll come back next month with the updated project, still spending, that, $150,000 on streets and roads, for sure. So the next one is just, we got some new committee members on here, and I like to always bring the 5-year, 10-year, 6-year plans to you guys. The first one you got is the chip seal, right? The wheel tax, right or wrong, we move on. It's not quite 50,000, it's more mid-40s. So we try to chip seal somewhere between, that 25, 40, last year, if you remember, we did all the subdivisions, we chip sealed almost $80,000 worth of, roads, so, the public works, roads and streets paid for some of that, so this year, we're down in the 25, just because last year we, didn't do as many paving projects, because we did a lot of chip sealing, so this year, we're looking at chip sealing 25, is kind of where we're at right now, and maybe go up a little more depending on what goes on with that lining. These are the roads we're looking to do. Polk and Fillmore are a little bit questioned right now. The other ones are definitely, Third Street from Levine to Latender, the bus route between the two schools. 4th Street in front of the fire station, 6th Street from Vabunker. I want to get that done from Vabunker to the north before they blacktop and mill. The Vabunker on 6th Street, so we're not bringing that through. Market Avenue, if you take the other side of Market, between 5th and 7th, it's in rough shape over there, and I'm trying to put a Band-Aid on that. That's probably one of the roughest roads in town that I don't have a plan for. I've got a plan for behind the shopping center. It's nasty back here, but we have a plan to fix that here with a TIF the next couple of years, but Market between 5th and 7th, I don't have a direct plan on that, so, chip sealing is gonna be the best thing I come up with right now, because we don't have the money for a complete rebuild. Then you look 2026, the old highway down by the wastewater plant. Tyler Avenue up on 4th Street, Bruner to Seneca. That's going on 6-year-old pavement. Then we're gonna come back in Vabunker. A lot of that section of Vabunker is going on 6 years, even though we're gonna repave that new section. We've got to start chip sealing some of the other stuff on Vabunker. That road gets traveled, almost 800 cars a day. And then we got Morrill Avenue between 3rd and 4th. 3rd Street, Latender to Edwards. 5th Street, Vabunker to Latender. Working with a safe, you're gonna see, some info coming out on Facebook and on the village newsletter, working on a Safeway grant. They're gonna be asking some questions from the village residents, the monkey grant, not through the village, on, what do you think of our roads, sidewalks and things by the school? Working on a grant to work around the school on that 5th Street, Vabunker to Latender by the elementary school, to see if we can't come up with a plan to, get some money to help repave that road since it's by the school.
Who's running that survey?
It's North Central, out of Wausau,
Oh,
so. Working with them right now, so you'll see that out here in the next couple weeks. And then we got 1st Street, Vabunker to Latender. And then 2nd to Vabunker and to Monroe, the road we just did this year, you talk 5 or 6 years, you gotta put some chip seal on it, otherwise the road starts to open up and water starts getting down. And then we've got Seneca Road in the Long Alley, 2031, so. It's a timeline. We'll try to do the best we can to stay with it. Some years, all of a sudden one road pops up after the winter that we have to move forward. But, the biggest thing that I've always tried is putting this $50,000 of wheel tax money on chip seal. Everybody drives in it, they get in their tires, they like it or not. I guess they know that we spent their wheel tax throughout the village.
Seneca Port Road, we just do one lane, or do we work with the other municipality?
They pay the other half. Yeah, we'll work with Mr. Olschlager if he's still the chairman out there and
20, 30.
So the next one is the capital improvement projects. This will kind of be a hot item for this committee moving into the summer. This summer is pretty much set in stone, right? We got our TIF projects. We're doing our bunker, Brentwood, repaving, 2026. We've got our Second Street Tomorrow project still coming. Try to do some paving between First and Second. And we're also gonna be looking at from Second Street here to the shopping center, all the way up to Bunker. Big stretch that runs all the way, here all the way up to Bunker. We've done, last year we did by, I call it McGrath South Second Street. We're gonna tie in down here. We got one piece that we haven't tied in front of the little water tower in front of the high school. It's our main sewer trunk. We've got some known lead services on that area, which we're working with the DNR to get some funding, but we'll be bringing MSA in here probably next month to discuss the CW grant, the different grants that are out there. Basically, the Clean Water Act grant, the one we applied for the wastewater plant, that's finally paid off. Our hands are tied. We can't come up with, millions of dollars to replace roads. We're gonna have to look at the grants and the options that are out there in the low funding loans. So I'm gonna bring those guys in here. We're gonna do some studies this summer. Basically, it's an economic study to see the people on that street, where they are financially, economically with the school. That's kind of how the funding is worked nowadays. So they'll come here and I'll have them explain to you guys what they're gonna be, what they can do, what they can look at. We've been okayed for the grants, but obviously it's the applications, and we start talking design work. We've been talking that amount of money. I mean, that all has to be done before the grants can be applied, and it's.
Well, the grant's got for
Discussions.
2 million. 2.5.
Well, the grant will be, and it's depending on if we're gonna get the low percentage, low rate.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different grants we're going to apply for that, because we got lead and copper, so we got some of those grants we can use. We're gonna have the clean water. We're gonna be replacing the wastewater lines. There's about 4 or 5 different grants according to MSA that we'll be able to apply for. Get some funding, but the biggest thing is gonna be get the low interest if we're gonna take a loan out for it.
You think the majority of it will be funded by grant?
No. We're gonna have to take a loan out. It's gonna be low interest. So it's gonna be a discussion. We'll bring them in, we'll start on it. And see what we can do. Again, I'm trying to work out, we talked about before, these utilities, of getting our utilities to be able to fund some of these projects. The wastewater plant has been paid off. We'll know this year if we're starting to have some extra cash in the water. We had an increase, right or wrong, but we need to try to get our utilities. So if we take these projects out, that yearly loan payments can be paid through utilities. That's right or wrong. If you go, communities, the utilities are supposed to fund the projects. So, and obviously we're all conscious, we're not raising rates. We got to try to do within the rates we have. But we're trying to get caught ahead. So,
Cause we gotta stay away from raising them, to that, sewer tax or whatever you wanna call it.
yeah, we did that comparison. If you guys are, we're still dang cheap compared to everybody else. We're almost half, but, we gotta find a way to do. Again, the paving, you see that. Paving isn't the issue. It's the infrastructure work, the old water lines and the sewer lines. Some of these roads are getting, 1960, 1950 water lines. So again, that's why we're gonna start this conversation early. And this is a 2027 project, but we need to start in 2025 to start prepping ourselves to figure out how we're gonna.
Just put it
Afford it.
past the April election in 2027.
So that's kind of, I guess you guys get the
Right line?
future projects of that. The last piece I got is our equipment. Right, we've done a great job, some of the new members, old members, we used to always never borrow for machinery, and we borrowed for our first piece a year ago, right or wrong. And every year we talk about putting money in capital funds to afford things. So this year we did it, we put money in the heavy equipment fund to purchase a lawnmower and a pickup truck. We didn't take any loans out. Next year, we're looking at a dump truck. We'll have that discussion here in about 2 months. I'm hoping that truck can go another year, even though I wrote it in there like this, see where it is, and hopefully we can save up some money. Maybe this year, put some money in that fund. Don't spend it in 2026. So come 2027, you got 2 years of funding we can combine to buy a dump truck.
In tandem?
You know, it's just a regular single axle truck. You know, they've, whatever, with the tariffs and everything coming through town, these trucks have gone crazy. I mean, and with, different systems and things. I mean, our last truck we bought for 123 and 175 is probably me pushing it right now. I had a couple different guys here in the last week trying to sell me stuff and everything is, Wisconsin Rapid just purchased 2 new trucks, I know, and they were 175 to $200,000. So, but right now we're in good shape, but again, we got a plan for the future. So that's why we kind of put these 10-year plans together so we can kind of look ahead and you see what things are gonna go out and what we're gonna need to replace. So. That's all I have on that. I know it's not a lot of good news, but it's information so that come budget time, I don't surprise anybody when we need something. If you're okay, Chairman Saylor, I'll go on the last piece, which was a budget question.
Yep.
So the last 2 pieces of paper you have is, regarding, trustee Saylor's residence question. Simple terms, the tree and brush pickup, this is a line item for labor. $22,000 a year. That isn't the benefits. That's in a different line item, but that's the hardcore labor that we spend for tree and brush pickup with summer help and full-time, 22,000. Recycling, the 58,000, that is what we have for, leaf sucker and also picking up dirt and things like that. That's the budget line that we use for those 2 services. You know, obviously, yeah, there's wear and tear in the vehicles, things like that. I mean, but again, if you get rid of the services, we still need the trucks to plow the snow. I mean, yeah, we can talk about that for on and on, different theories and different ideas, but I guess just to get somebody an idea, you know, that's what we're talking labor to do those 2 items. And then the scheme of the things, and again, we've been through this, right? You know, our budget is, you know, $2.3 million. Our public works is, you know, 793 under 800. I mean, that's not, when you're talking 6-7 guys' wages and doing streets and roads and all the things we do. I mean, it's not a huge part of the budget when you look at that. And other departments are a couple employees and still $300,000. So
I just was, the intent was just to show whoever's listening and to answer his question, that $80,000 is what that service costs.
Yep.
Out of a 2.3, it's peanuts, so.
Yep.
Cutting that would not save you a bunch of money. So I just wanted, that's just proof that I wanted.
no, and I want to make sure I give you the right documents.
Employee works is just a little over 33%. And I bet you there's not a township around here that has got a rate that low of the total budget. So, I mean, everything, even police department revolves to a certain extent around, you know, the DPW streets and crap like that. You know, so good job, Benny.
I'm just trying to tell, you know, people that Public Works is your meat and potatoes of your entire village.
Yep.
That's what does everything in this village. You know, some of the other stuff, maybe could get cut, maybe not, I don't know, but this is the meat and potatoes and it's only 730,000 on it. So.
The chairman's just gotta tell them, hey, that's the way it is, get used to it. That was a joke.
Something else. All right, Ben, anything else?
I just got stuff underneath number 9 when you get to that point. please.
Anybody have any old business? New business?
So unfortunately, we're gonna be talking a garbage contract. That's a 5-year contract and we're gonna be up this year. So next month, I'm going to be bringing our contract we have now, garbage contract, and getting your guys' thoughts on that to resend that out for bids. I'd like to have our bidders come here in July and present it to you guys. What there's, you know, if there's any bidders, so we can look for a motion to get that approved in August, so there's plenty of time. Right now, I've had 2 people reach out to me. I don't know if we'll have any more than that. Obviously, no matter, anybody knows garbage, the tippage has to go through the landfill in Wisconsin Rapids. So, you know, if it's an outside company, they actually have to dump it at Waste Management's landfill. But next month, I'll I'll bring the contract here. I'm looking for a 5-year deal. I've been upfront with both of them, looking for a 5-year deal. We're looking for trash and recycling every, trash every week, recycling every other week. Bulk pickup is a big one. We love it. Whoever has it, we're gonna put it in the contract, but it's gonna be a struggle to get that service.
What service?
Bulk pickup,
Oh,
that's once a month, but that'll be a struggle, but we're gonna put it in the contract and let them come back to bid to us. And again, we're looking for a 5-year contract. Right now it's nice because it's 5 years and we know every year what the increase is. So when we start doing taxes, because that's a separate line item in our taxes, that's not through any of the budgets. Diane can get that on the taxes and we can get properly reimbursed for that service. So, that's gonna be the big topic next month and then, hopefully have a timeline of the streets and roads projects so that I can let you guys know what month and days we're gonna be doing that work.
Anybody else have any new business? Correspondence received. I haven't received anything. I don't know if anybody else has.
No.
No. Agenda items for next week will be the garbage contract. The same kind of updates. I
Yep,
think.
you'll see the same updates, correct?
You said tomorrow is.
Tomorrow,
those
we're
guys for the
Yep,
lighting?
1 o'clock tomorrow we meet. So I can, try to get you guys an update. I got a game tomorrow afternoon, so it'll probably be Friday morning. I can get you guys an update of what we learned.
were you meeting here?
We're meeting on site on, for bunker, right at Ripple Creek.
Meeting date.
Fourth Wednesday?
Want you? This is your first meeting tonight. When are you available?
Um,
So the last two meetings are on the 28th.
Essentially staying on how we have them tonight so far.
so what are you thinking, like 21st or 28th? May?
Nope.
28th works,
Heading into Memorial Day weekend.
at whatever time, doesn't matter.
And this one start 5. Okay, we'll do May 28th. Does that work for you, Joe? 28th at 5?
Thanks, therapy.
Yeah. Does anybody have anything else? Without objection, I adjourn the meeting at 5:27.